All right, good evening, everybody. We are recording this meeting. Welcome to the October meeting of the Philadelphia Folk Song Society. My name is Miles Thompson. I'm the president of the society. And this is our October meeting. As I said, it is the 23rd of October, a little after 7 p.m. for the sake of the audio recording. The first thing I want to do is call this meeting to order. The meeting has begun. Thank you, because there's no noise in the audience. I appreciate that. A couple of things. First thing we want to do is have a vote on the minutes from the last month. The board has reviewed the minutes, and we've worked out a few kinks in the reporting, and things seem to be good. So if somebody would like to make a motion that we approve the minutes, please do so.
Motion to approve the minutes.
All right. People to second that emotion. Second that motion.
Second.
All right, the motion has passed. The meetings have been approved. Thank you all very much. Second that emotion. I've got those songs in my head. All right, I want to start with the president's report. And first of all, I have been away from things with the Folk Song Society for a little more than a month. Basically, some health issues have come up with me that that are just there and pressing, and I needed to deal with. They were exacerbated by exhaustion and stress, which meant I needed to back off somewhere. And so I've had to back off some of my all of my day-to-day involvement for a little while with the Folk Song Society. The short on this, I'm famous for mixing metaphors, is that sometimes you burn the candle at both ends for too long, and then you're the bug, and here comes the windshield. And when the windshield hurts and hits, it hits hard. So I was hit hard. So I'm still kind of little whatever, not at my top game. And because I haven't been involved in anything really for the last month, Eric Ring, as the vice president of record, is going to be leading this meeting. There are a couple of things that I do need to report to our membership. We had a resignation from the board of directors. Our dear friend Wendy Fior has resigned. Things were too hectic with her as well, unrelated, but and so she has resigned. And what that does is it opens up we have her seat that we can fill at the upcoming election. There will be an election coming up. We have the election will be happening electronically. It'll be happening presumably in early December. George will speak to that specifically in his governance report, and it's good to see George back. Welcome home, my friend. George has been on a glorious vacation hiking in Spain and Portugal and other cool places. Another announcement is that is it the 2nd or the 3rd, Jess? Is it the Sunday, the Saul Brody show? Saul Brody is, go ahead.
The 2nd.
It is the 2nd. Saul Brody is playing at the Germantown Historical Society, which is a wonderful space where they perform. There's a side yard there that's beautiful, and I'm told if they're indoors, the space is lovely too. It's right behind Market Square on Germantown Avenue at Schoolhouse Lane. Saul Brody is a Philadelphia area folk and blues treasure. They had to reschedule his show from last spring for various reasons. And I encourage the folk community to come out. Saul is worth seeing. He like I said, he's a treasure, and you want to catch him while you can. Their ticket sales also have not been really, really good because they're a historical society. They struggle a little bit with how to market music, and their members are less interested. But please support that if you can. There was information sent out in tune-up, and there will be some more information coming out. And Jess will mention that as we go on. So that's it. It's good to be back. I'm not back yet fully, but I am here. And I appreciate all the love and concern from the board members who said to me, take care of yourself first. We'll take care of you as we can. So big love to everybody for that, and big thanks for Eric Ring for stepping in for 2 meetings now, and we'll see. The other big piece I need to mention is that because we are at that time of year, we do not do a board meeting in late November because of Thanksgiving. And we do not do one in late December because of all of the December holidays. And this year, that board meeting would have been scheduled to occur on the 25th. And whether you're home with your families or in a Chinese restaurant, it's probably not going to be something a lot of people would do. So as we scheduled months ago and actually put out, and I'd forgotten about this, we have a board meeting scheduled for the 11th of December. It'll be an open board meeting. We've done this historically as long as I can remember to get around the holidays. So that will be the next meeting, will be December 11th. We also, as I said, have an election coming up, which we hope to have a sense of around that. George will speak to that. We'll be dealing with that around that time. And there we go. So without any further ado, thank you all for your attention and your support, as I said, and I'm going to turn this meeting over to Eric Ring. Eric, you have it. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. First of all, I want to thank Miles for everything that you have done and everything that you will continue to do in the future and everything like that. Your health is the most important thing, because if you're not healthy, you can't help us out, and we all care about you very much. So
thank you, my friend. I appreciate that.
Always. So now it's for the vice president report, which is my honor to announce. Everybody knows that we're having a 2025 festival, but people don't know who the festival director is going to be. And it is going to be Blind Justice. Specifically, Michael is going to be the festival director for our 2025 festival. So we will hear from Michael in a bit, but first we're going to find out how solvent we are by listening to Eric Robbins and his update for our financials.
Okay. Thank you, Eric. I'm going to share my screen and let me know if you guys can see it.
Not yet. There we go.
There we go.
Yes.
Okay. Not too much activity for the month of October. We're pretty quiet right now. Obviously, as the year moves along, we'll ramp up as we're have some financial activity related to next year's Folk Fest. But for right now, you can see not much. We have about 5,500 in revenue. Member dues and donations have some interest income because some of the cash we have is invested in a Capital One savings account. And our operating expense, 4,600. Pretty much right in line with what we have each month, and maybe a little bit higher. We paid Iron Mountain 2 months this period for some reason. But anyway, you can see we just had under $1,000 of net income for the period. And as a result, our balance sheet looks like this. We have 217,000 plus in cash. We are still owed 25,000 from one of our sponsors from the fest, and we're also owed 2,000 from one of our food vendors. So we have assets 244,000. We do owe approximately 12,000 out. Some of our payables, remaining payables for Fest, we're still waiting on some invoices. We have a sales tax payable, but we are now a semi-annual filer, so that will not be paid until the end of January 25. And then we have an old CPA bill from 2020 that we're not paying, trying not to pay, not sure. But so we have 12,000 in liabilities. So as a result, we have net assets or equity of the organization of 232,000 and change. So that's the current status of our finances. Back to you guys. Thank you.
Next up, we're going to hear from our festival director, Michael, if you want to say a couple words and tell us what's going on.
Well, good evening, everyone. First, I'd like to thank the Board of Directors for their continued confidence in me and Blind Justice Music, and for all of their hard work to right the ship at the Folk Song Society, and for their commitment to ensuring that the Philadelphia Folk Festival will remain a viable and hopefully successful event for years to come. Second, I'd like to acknowledge and thank everyone on this call right now for helping to make 2024 a success. I think the volunteer corps, to me anyway, united in a fashion that I don't believe I've ever personally witnessed before. We did it, and with very few exceptions, I think it's hard to argue that there seemed to be a renewed sense, an esprit de corps, if you will, on the farm. And I'd just like to thank everybody involved, all the volunteers, everybody for their hard work, and give everybody a huge congratulations. As part of our responsibilities from 2024, Blind Justice Music, along with Brian Kraft, our operations chief, met with Upper Salford Township and the leadership of the first responders responsible for safety of the event and implementation of the emergency management plan. It was mid-September. Aside from a few offhanded remarks and critiques that we'll be addressing for 2025, everybody was happy, and they are looking forward to having us back out on the farm in 2025. This is a fairly recent appointment, and so I have little to report in terms of immediate action. We've had some, what I'll refer to as human resources issues to deal with, and we've been working through that process. I have asked Brian Kraft to return to the management team as operations chair, and am considering the possibility of bringing on another person in leadership to be able to handle and assist with additional committee oversight. I've had the opportunity to reach out to a handful of chairs so far to get their takes on 2024 and see if they have plans to return in their roles for 2025. Fortunately, those calls have been going well, and everybody that I've spoken to is planning on returning, which makes me very happy. Moving forward, I hope to schedule Zoom meetings and telephone calls with every other chair to get similar discussions underway, find out what they thought worked and what didn't in 2024, and to find out if they plan on coming back in 2025. So we'll be having those discussions. To that note, if any of the chairs are on this call, I'm not really looking through to my best ability. Just be thankful I'm not muted right now. But I'm always available if you need anything. I'm a phone call away, a text, an email. Everybody's going to be curious about booking, so from that perspective, we're obviously going to be able to get it started sooner in the game than we were last year, which will be beneficial for us. I do have a few lists of acts that I'm looking to target for 25, and I'm setting up a small committee at the moment to assist with any submissions and recommendations that they might have. And we're hoping to put on a really great show for you all again.
Okay, thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
We'll have
Thanks, Michael.
questions at the end of the meeting. So if anybody has any for Michael that he can answer, because there's going to be a lot of questions that he won't be able to answer until a little bit later on. But we're happy that Michael accepted the position, and we're looking forward to having a great 2025. Next up, we're going to have our development report from Rob. So you're up.
Thanks, Eric. First of all, thanks again to all of our sponsors and advertisers, and of course, most of all, to our members who helped make it a successful fundraising year leading up to the fest. We were able to achieve a lot of our goals. But we can't rest on our laurels, and one of the things that we want to make sure is that we continue to be a successful organization by having regular processes. And one of those processes will be, of course, sponsorships. We will be having our first RD meeting after the festival coming up this Tuesday night, and we will be looking at revising our sponsorship packet, approaching our corporations sooner. Again, anyone who knows anyone who works at a corporation, that may be very helpful for us to know. Not that we're going to ask them any money, but we can use them as references as we approach the corporation. And in addition, we are going to begin planning for our Gene Shea Founders Awards event, the second annual event. It will be on March 11th at the Colonial Theater. And we are going to start by having nominations, and we'll be talking about the nomination form at this meeting, so that we have a process this year that is very democratic in determining who we will be honoring. With that said, that's really our focus right now with our fundraising. There'll be other aspects of fundraising discussed as well. So that's our development report for now.
And Rob, we're going to stay with you to talk about MAC.
Mac, well, first of all, thank you so much for all of those who came out to our MAC events this past month or two. One of our most recent events was, of course, our mini fundraiser at the Falzer Club. We had 23 MAC performers. Hats off again to the MAC volunteer team, in particular to Maura Levine, who did a lot of the promotion with her marketing, but also the person who helped really organize it, Jefferson Barry. And that helped us along. That was a mini fundraiser. We didn't put a lot of work or focus into that in terms of fundraising, but we did pick up another $600 as all the performers volunteered their time. And we will be having MAC events this coming month. I don't know if Jess would like to put up on the screen some of the events coming up. All of our events are either free or reduced for PFS members. So our free member show is at the Keswick every month. We're having one more this year. That will be instrumentalist extraordinaire Bunny Barnes, along with Michael London, who's a wonderful musician as well. But you'll see up there a number of other performances, including the ones at the library that are free, but all the others, again, are reduced for PFS members. And many of our MAC members have played the festival before. So a lot of great performers there.
Okay. And I was at Rob's event that he talked about, which was a celebration of his writing 1,000 songs.
Oh, that was Rob Lincoln, not Rob Kutzik.
Rob Lincoln.
Yeah, he looks a lot, but he's a
He
different
looks a lot like you. So
Yeah.
It's just your glasses that are different.
But that was the first time that I was at the Falzer Club, and it was a really fun venue and fun event.
It's a nice space. It's a really nice space.
Yeah. So that was really enjoyable. And then again, I just wanted to point out Sol Brody's show that's coming up. That's not part of MAC though, right? Or is it part of MAC? Rob?
That's not a MAC show, but that is a partnership that we're supporting, I believe.
Right.
Yeah, we're
And
trying to support local musicians and folk music in the area, and because they're doing a whole sort of various degree of artists that are being a lot of jazz and blues artists as well that they're putting on in Germantown. We're picking up the folk promotion end.
yeah, and it was put in the chat, but that is a pay as you wish show. So go there and support local music and Sol. So, all right. So our next agenda item, is a fun one that I've sort of been involved with, but the people who have really been leading it are Barry and Trish. So we've been working on a Smiling Banjo podcast, and I'm going to turn this over to Trish, and then if Barry wants to say something too, we want to introduce it all so you can see it. So.
All right. So hi everybody. At the folk festival this year, Emily Drinker was able to interview about 15 out of the 18 main stage performers, and possibly a few others. And the interviews are they're compelling, they're fun, they add information and interest that you didn't necessarily get with them on stage. And we're pairing that with something that will come out of the archives, one song probably, and some background. But the idea is that there would be podcasts that would go back to 2024 and hopefully generate a great deal of interest and enthusiasm for 2025, and hopefully get out there to audience members that we haven't reached yet, people that are fans of the various performers. And so AJ Lee is the performer that we put a podcast together for. First, it's still kind of in its final stages of editing, but coming up soon after will be John Oates and the Faux Pas and Winborn, Tony Trishka, Kathy Fink, Marcy Marxer, and Tien, Dom Flemons, J.P. Cormier, Dave Gunning, John Flynn, etc., etc. So anyway, we thought you might like to see just kind of an intro for what we have in mind, and we're kind of thinking like 2 a month, and that's based on the production schedule that we are hoping to maintain. So I'm going to try and screen share, and here it is. Hopefully the audio is also on. Yeah.
Trish, if you go to your share screen settings, just click share again and then click share audio and it should work.
Okay, so go back.
Yep.
Okay, go back to share. Okay, desktop.
At the very
Aha,
bottom of the share
sound.
Yep.
All right, let's see if this works. Yeah? That sound?
Hello everybody, welcome. This is the Smiling Banjo podcast presented by the Philadelphia Folk Song Society. My name is Emily Drinker. I'm a singer-songwriter here in Philadelphia. I've been going to Folk Fest pretty much my whole life. It's really important to me, and we're actually on site at the Philly Folk Fest right now. We're backstage in the green room area of the main stage with AJ Lee and Blue Summit. We got the whole gang here. Hello. Yeah, thanks for coming, guys.
So that's pretty much that's the intro, and the rest of the podcasts would probably start the same way, and then all the other podcasts would take it from there. So Barry, is there anything you wanted to say?
Are you there? Are you on here?
Oh, we can't hear you. You're muted.
Now you can, right?
Now we can hear you.
Yeah, it's just push that magic button. Hello, everyone. No, this is an idea that Eric and I came up with sort of simultaneously, but separately back in early summer. And it's grown into what it is now. We had the opportunity to get a lot of people at the fest, which we hadn't really anticipated. In fact, this one we were planning on just talking to AJ, and she brought the whole band, so I had to switch modes. All the rest of the interviews are 3 cameras, one focused on Emily, one focused on 1 or 2 people, and another just a wide shot. So we can edit those quite differently. They're all 4K 30 frames per second video. Sound needs to be worked on for all, but the purpose, as I started to say, but you couldn't hear me, was to not only delight the current fest goers and maybe even prior fest goers and current members, but to expand the marketplace, to expand the possible interested audience. So almost all of the performers asked to be able to share their podcast and perhaps others on their website with their fans. So that's a wonderful start. And Godfrey Daniels brought my college buddy Lenny Kay down. I got to interview him because Emily was was playing. But we have a lot of content, close to a terabyte. And right now we're just kind of finishing getting the okay for the current format. But I think this can be quite supportive, not only for sponsorships and attendance and memberships, but to raise the whole reach of the Philadelphia Folk Song Society. So that's why we're doing it.
Thanks. And I wanted to just give a thanks myself to Barry and Trish and also Six and Emily. Everybody has been involved in doing this. I had the idea. With everything else I'm doing, I haven't really been able to be there for the day-to-day stuff. Barry did all the filming and everything like that. And I know Trish is doing a bunch of the editing, and Emily does a fantastic job with the interviews. I was really impressed with pretty much what everybody's done. Something for everybody to look forward to, and hopefully we'll get that first one out sometime soon. So thank you very much. All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Trish. Thank you, Barry.
Okay, the other important thing that's going on with the Folk Song Society is the upcoming election, and our governance report is going to be given by George. So George, you're up.
Hey, thank you very much. I'm glad to be back in the US and not carrying a backpack on my back for a while. So thank you very much for being patient with me. The governance committee is working on the upcoming election. The board has been notified of a slate of candidates as per the bylaws. Really just one individual came through the governance committee, Patrick Friend. Notification to membership of the application process for those to be nominated through petition. This meeting is part of that process. We're letting members know that, yes, there is a process, and you get in touch with me at grgut@pfs.org in order to get the necessary information. Petitions from applicants must be in the governance committee's hands on or before November 11th. Okay, that's in order to meet a 45-day prior to election requirement. You have to be what is called a voting member of the society. In other words, you have to be an up-to-date paid member of the Philadelphia Folk Song Society. We ask that you complete a biography or submit a resume. We would like your position statement as to why and you would want to be on the board and what you anticipate accomplishing. And then there's a candidate survey form, a link which we'll provide to you. The survey provides us with more demographic information and information about your experience over time. Society membership then will be notified of candidates for election by November 26. We're anticipating several more individuals that have expressed interest, so we should have more people to announce. The voting will be electronic voting on December 26. It is not an actual board meeting, but it is in following our bylaws to ensure that we meet the criteria for notification to members and ensuring applicants get time to submit their information. That is the report for the governance committee for tonight.
George, to be clear, the electronic voting will begin on December 26th?
Correct.
Okay. How long is it going to run?
Just one day, I hope.
All right, that might be problematic for the date.
It's all we've ever done.
I realize that. I realize that. I
Mhm.
also realize there's nothing that says we can't extend it to 2 or 3 days. It could be very problematic with the date.
Yeah,
I see heads nodding in agreement.
A lot of people are going to be away traveling something. Just saying, we might want to move that to a 3-day voting process,
yeah,
which we did once before. We had a voting process that lasted about a week, which was too long. But
Too long. Yeah.
this because of when it falls, I'd hate to have somebody miss it because they were traveling or celebrating or something, and you know.
Yeah,
It is, Hanukkah is also during that time.
Right.
So I think having an extended time period may be helpful.
Maybe this is the good time to have it be a week.
yeah. So I think that that's something that we need to discuss. We can definitely give those parameters. We're having the next meeting on December 11th. And we can give the exact date and the length of time. I think having it like the day after Christmas might not be the best day to do it, just to, especially if you're going to only do it for one day. But anyway, so thank you, George. And again, we'll get back to you in terms of the specifics on the voting. But what we want to do is make sure that the candidates have, if you're interested in being a candidate, is to make sure you have time to submit your material so we can get it out to everybody. I know that we have at least 3 other people who have expressed serious interest in running. So, but all right. So, but you have to be a member. So let's move on to the membership report with Jess.
Great, thanks. And as mentioned during our last meeting, we are looking at a new CRM. And Rob, thank you so much for your support with contacting vendors. We have a small team who is looking to learn more about the CRMs and also to kind of vet, which would be great for PFS to help manage. So the CRM will help manage membership.
Jess, can you define what define what a CRM is for our members that are throwing their hands in the air because they don't know?
That's what I was saying. So it helps us to manage our membership. So it helps us to have the information about members, like email addresses and payment also information. Because if you didn't know, right now, that is managed through an Excel sheet and some forms and some very unique processes with like Rob will help canceling payments through one platform. I look at who has updated their membership and then add their email addresses to a spreadsheet and then hope that spreadsheet finds its way to the right person when as needed, so etc. And there's so many different things that come up, like, well, I moved, or my email address changed, or things like that that are quite frankly hard to manage manually like that. So this system will help us to manage that. It'll help us to do several other things too. Rob, if you want to add anything, please feel free to do so.
Sure, that's pretty good there, pretty comprehensive. Just a clarification, CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management and manager. It's essentially collects information in a systematic way that also automates information going out so that we can track members as well as communicate automatically with members. So because we don't have a staff, it's really critical. It's amazing the work that Jess has done. Hats off also to Eric Robbins, but in particular, Erin Gorse, who I don't think he's here tonight, has put a tremendous amount of effort in that, and she has done some research as well on that. So yeah, it's very important that we have this. Once we have it, it may resolve a number of different issues, including donor management as well as membership management. And we also want to find a way that members can access their own information. That is not specifically a CRM, but it's an additional piece that can be added. And how that interacts with the website, that is something that we may need to loop Sue into when we have some time, once we know a little bit more. But Sue Deckhart has been almost single-handedly dealing with the website. So thank you, Sue, for all that you do. Speaking of thanks, I did forget to thank our technology whiz, Six, who does so much for us. Six was also instrumental in our last event that we had at the Falzer Club. And I wanted to thank him, as well as our MC, Paul Mamelo. But Six often is forgotten. He's the reason why we're on Zoom right now. So thank you, Six, for all you do.
Let's not forget Six.
Definitely can't forget Six. And then
So I have more on that. Sorry, Eric. So I'm going to share my
go ahead.
screen and continue on with membership update, just in general with the numbers we have. So can everyone see that okay? Okay, great. So if you remember, if you were here for our last meeting, we actually had a loss in close to like
Yes.
four. Yes.
I got a message that the screen was only visible by hosts and co-hosts.
What does that mean?
Well, let's ask if, are members seeing the screen other than hosts and co-hosts? Raise your hand if you don't see the screen.
I see a few thumbs up.
Or I confuse people. Raise your hand if you do see the screen. Okay, yeah, they're seeing it. It looks like.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to keep going then. I'm sorry, but I'll speak about what's on the slide as well, so you don't need to rely on what you see. It's just helpful for some people to see it, so that's why I put it there. So we lost about 400 members, and that was in large part because of the True Believer membership, where we asked people to give a little bit more to help us get to our 61st festival. And we had such a resounding kind of draw-in of members at that point, and people got like a t-shirt out of it, at Fest. And then they did not renew in August or September, that time period. And so, as Rob mentioned, all of the membership reminders are done manually. So Erin and myself, we've been sending out emails to remind people about memberships. And so we have since had 37, which I think is a pretty good number in a month. Hopefully we can get the other, 300 some people back as members. So if you're one of those people who needs to renew, go for it. We have 3 expired and canceled memberships up to this date. We have a few more expiring soon. And those people did receive reminders to renew. Plus the 37. So at this point, we went from 817 members in September to now 851, if that math checks out correctly. Again, manual. If anyone is not receiving any communications, feel free to email directors@pfs.org. We'll square things away for you. All right, any questions there?
I mean, we'll do questions from the members later, but unless any of the board
Yeah, I
members
meant.
have questions.
Okay.
If not, I do see somebody that says that they're dismayed that we only have 851 members. I think that I mean it's a bit low, but it's kind of on average. I will point out that we had like almost 4,000 people come to Fest. So it would be nice if people attended Fest if they were members too. Anyway, Jess, I'm going to stay with you with the communications report.
Sure. And for the communications report, I'll just generally speak about some of our upcoming shows and partnerships. So I know that Rob talked about the MAC shows coming up, but I did want to highlight this because there's a free monthly member concert, and I think this is a really great way to bring people who may be interested in becoming a member too. And Keswick Theater so graciously hosts us and offers some perks for PFS in general. So we thank the Keswick Theater. This is hosted at the Annex, and there is an open mic. I'm not sure if it was mentioned before. The open mic is commonly held on that Tuesday. If there's another show going on, then we might move that open mic. But for Tuesday, November 19th, we will have open mic at Keswick again. And that's hosted by Rob Lincoln, not Rob Kutzik. Fun fact.
They look really similar.
I know.
Different glasses.
Yeah, different classes. Spider-Man, right? Something like that. Okay. And then a couple other things for you to be aware of. I know this was mentioned a few times for Salt Brody. That's November 2nd is when it's being hosted. It was rescheduled from the summertime. So there's some information that went out today with your board meeting reminder about SAW. And this is hosted at the historic Germantown Museum. It'll be Saturday evening. It's pay what you wish, and you do have to have a ticket though, so keep that in mind. I learned that Saul actually has a degree, a PhD degree in folklore, which I think is really cool. He, and so what better way to learn from, a pro than to see him play. Another thing I wanted to announce was Keswick Theater actually is partnering with Rising Sun Presents to bring the Waylon Jennies, and that also some information about that went out today. And they're providing a few ticket giveaways. So we will have a presence with a table where we share information about PFS and PFS membership. And that's something that's a really great partnership between the three, actually. And then Rising Sun Presents, of course, is offering, as they do every month, ticket giveaways and also discounts on some upcoming shows. And you can see two of those shows down below. Marie Sue, I'm thinking is how you pronounce that, is coming up on November 13th. And then Willie Watson, I know that's not until December, but we wanted to get the word out about it now. He's pretty popular. So please look out for that information in the upcoming tune-up. And we thank Rising Sun Presents also for their support. So I think that's it for me in terms of any, partnership updates. There's one thing I wanted to say from the festival standpoint in communications that is that we've been working on a survey to help us learn more about our ticket buyers and their experience at the festival from 2024 Folk Festival. If you remember, we announced that we were collecting information from our volunteer leaders, and so that was really helpful for us. Now that we know we're definitely having a festival, we know who our festival director is, we're now looking for that information about experience and feedback from our ticket buyers, including all volunteers and anyone who attended. So you'll see that information forthcoming soon. All right, thank you.
And talking about the Rising Sun, I was at they had Sierra Hull last month, and I attended that one. It was packed, and it was probably one of the best shows that I had seen. I don't know how many other people on the call were at that show, but it was fantastic. So as a reminder, there is no general meeting in November. The next general meeting is going to be December 11th. So we'll see everybody then, but now I'm going to open it up for questions and hopefully answers. So if you have a question, if you could raise your hand, and then I will call on you. Mara, you're up.
Terrific. I just want to highlight a few things that weren't mentioned in terms of member shows and events. We are still having our virtual open mic on the third Wednesday of every month, so November 18th. And of course, people can contact me. I'll put in the chat a link if you want to sign up for that. Our new partner open mic at the Scottish Rite Auditorium, that's in Collingswood, New Jersey. We're going to be Thursday, November 7th. Triff is going to be hosting that for us. So that's a new partnership with Scottish Rite that Jefferson Berry's been developing, and also Rusty and Jan. And then, of course, Rob and Jeff just both mentioned the in-person open mic. A couple of highlights that I just want to point out again is that we have at Malalani Cafe on the 1st, we're going to have Railroad Wings, which is Julianne Ott and Rob Lincoln, and we are having our social and jam. So if you folks want to come out and do a jam, bring your instruments to the Malalani Cafe. That's going to be a really wonderful opportunity for the community to get together. We're doing that monthly, so please come out We've got the Gene Smith Band at Mount Airy Art Garage on the 3rd. Jefferson Berry's having a CD release concert for his EP, and that's going to be at the Warehouse on November 6th. And they're also going to have the Ben Benjamins there. So if you want to support Jefferson, he's been doing a huge amount of work for MAC and the Society, and he's got a new release out. So that would be great. The 14th, we have the Edge Hill Rounders and the Hoppin' Boxcars at the Falzer Club. Rusty and Jan at the Wissahickon Library the same day. That's a free show. And something special and a little different. Jefferson has put together with Dexter Myers a PFS XFS mashup. So we had an XFS stage at the festival where people got to have some exposure to some of the XFS groups. We're going to have Aura Ruth, Turtle Ridge, and the Persistent Resistors at the Mount Airy Art Garage on November 16th. And that's kind of like a wonderful, lively collaboration and kind of bringing in some of the younger folks and a little bit more of the edgy music. So think about that. We already talked about the Keswick. River Drivers are having a fundraiser for the food bank, for their local food bank in Bristol, at the Naked Brewing, our new partnership with Naked Brewing, on the 21st of November. I don't see Jefferson here. If he was here, he could talk about NERFA, because we're going to have a showcase room at NERFA. That starts the 22nd of November, and we have some MAC members there, but we're actually running PFS/MAC showcase room at NERFA. We are bringing our presence back to NERFA. I know there'll be some folks there. And that's mostly what we have going on. Michelle Miller did reschedule her children's concert that she had to cancel due to illness. That'll be the 23rd of November, and that'll be in the tune-up. It didn't make the flyer because we just found out about that. But that's a children's performance and you have to reserve. So that's what's going on. And then I know Jefferson, I don't see him here, but we are having the holiday party for PFS at the Mount Airy Art Garage on the 14th of December. So for members, that's going to be our member holiday party. There's a few other concerts that I'm not sure if I should mention because we're not having, next month. Some of them will be in the, Will Painter's doing a holiday party at the Warehouse on December 4th. Jefferson's leading an urban acoustic Christmas with our get together, our member get together on December 6th at Malilani. And then we have the Falzer Club, Honey Badgers, Jeanette and Stephen, Electric Man on the 12th of December. Again, since we're not having a meeting next month, I just want to mention those things. But do mark on your calendars December 14th for the PFS holiday party. Be a variety of performers. Thank you very much. That's my update.
Mara, I want to just jump in and also thank our old friend Jim Poole, who has had a large hand in arranging the open mic at the Scottish Rite Auditorium.
Thank you.
Jim is not only a devoted member of the Folk Song Society, he's often been our liaison at the WXPN Festival. He volunteers with XPN as well. So we're very grateful for Jim's leadership in helping getting the Scottish Rite looped in with us. So
I
thanks,
appreciate
Jim.
that because I didn't have that information. I kind of expected that Jefferson might be here to share some more details that I don't have. But it's really wonderful because that partnership could develop to doing some performances at that auditorium in Collingswood, New Jersey. So again, we're looking to expand our reach.
Thank you, Mara. Are there any other questions? If you have a question, raise your hand. There was a question about the survey in the chat. Will the survey include questions on campground experience, and is the VIP Friend of Fest sending a survey, or will it be included in the general survey? I don't think that there is a separate VIP Friend of Friend of Fest survey that's being sent out that I know of. So I think it's going to be part of that general survey. I don't recall, Jess, if you remember, is there anything specific about the campground experience on those, or?
So I think that'll be included because we wanted to capture kind of every type of ticket, if you will. And in terms of Friends of the Fest, I don't know if they have a survey that they typically send out from that committee. So that'd be something to check in with those chairs about. But yeah, your input will be helpful because you'll be designating what type of ticket you purchased. So that, then we'll be able to kind of tell what your responses are in relation to. So thanks. I hope that made sense.
That made total sense to me. Any other questions? If you do, raise your hand. If not, then can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Miles made the motion. Any second?
Second.
George second. All those in favor?
Rob,
Rob.
yeah, thank you.
All right. So we will see everybody back on December 11th. Have a good Thanksgiving and
Be safe, all that stuff.
be-
Yeah.
yep. And if the board wants to stick around, great.
Thank you,
Everyone,
everybody.
please sign out and have a good evening.
Thank you, everybody.